So the house had been listed like 10 days before we saw it. One of the reasons I think it was still listed was because the pictures were awful, like really bad. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to another Tales from the Trenches. This is episode 4, and in these Tales from the Trenches, I am telling you about my experiences in the field as a real estate agent helping buyers and sellers to give you a good idea of what's really going on out there. So I have another Tale from the Trenches today for you. Before we jump into that, if this is your first time on my channel, welcome. Thank you for coming. Make sure you subscribe. I post 2 new videos every week, and one is always a market update of what's going on in Phoenix, and the other is something like this or a home tour, neighborhood tour, something like that. So if you are considering buying or selling real estate in Phoenix, this is the channel for you. Also, make sure that you follow me on social media. Let's be friends there because I post a lot of great stuff there as well, if I do say so myself. Anyway, let's jump right in and talk about this Tales from the Trenches episode 4. So today I'm giving a story about a couple buyers that I just worked with and helped them purchase a home in Gilbert. This house was listed for about 10 days before we came upon it, if you can believe that. And one of the things that I want to make sure I explain in this video, and the point that I'm trying to get across, is that although the market is really hot, it doesn't mean that every single house sells in an hour and gets absolutely crazy. There are sometimes homes that you can find where you get a little bit lucky and don't have as much competition and everything else. So anyway, let me just tell you the story. So the house had been listed like 10 days before we saw it. One of the reasons I think it was still listed was because the pictures were awful, like really bad. So we actually got to the house and we were like, oh, this place looks pretty nice, as a matter of fact. So note, if you're selling your house, make sure your agent, if it's not me, is getting a professional photographer because it makes a difference in bringing people into your home. So there were crappy pictures, but we got there and it was much nicer. So thank you for not having good pictures because I think that kept a lot of people away for those 10 days. We also were not sure if it was maybe priced a little bit too high, and that's why they didn't have any offers on the table. But regardless, we saw it, and then my clients waited like 4 more days to decide to write an offer. So most of the time, that is a big no-no because the house is gone before you even have time to think about it. But this one hung around. Must have just been the right house for them. So being that there were no offers on the table at the time, we were able to write an offer that wasn't waiving all of our contingencies like you have to when it's really competitive. So my buyers were able to retain their appraisal contingency and their inspection period, and even asked for a home warranty to be paid for by the seller. And in addition to that, we just came in at the purchase price. We didn't have to go way above that. So everything was pretty easy, and I bet you can guess it, our offer was accepted. So that was really exciting, and kind of a blast from the past to feel what it was like in the old market before things got really wild. So again, I don't really know what it was about this house and why it was waiting for them for so long. The home was priced in the $700,000 price range, so it is a little bit higher compared to the things that fly off the market at the $400,000 price range. But also the photos were bad, and we thought perhaps maybe they priced it a little high. They didn't price it high because my buyer's appraisal came back $20,000 over our contract price. Another win in this whole situation. So moral of the story, it is not always going to be a crazy, bid out other people, waive all your contingencies type of scenario when you're on the buy side. There are times where things will work out well, and not only do you get to write a fair offer that retains all of your contingencies and protection, but also the appraisal comes in way above what you're under contract for. So that is really nice. And honestly, we weren't too worried about the appraisal because we didn't waive our contingency. So we didn't have to be concerned that we couldn't renegotiate the purchase price if it came in low. And thankfully, it actually came in high. So in addition to all of that, the inspection was pretty clean, but there were some items that they wanted addressed, and they requested a credit for those to be repaired. And they got the credit to have them be repaired. So again, another thing that I don't see in this market very often at all. So moral of the story, don't be hopeless as a buyer. There are opportunities where things will work out like this. And a lot of times it matters who's on the other side of the transaction, AKA the seller. So sometimes there are sellers out there that actually are willing to negotiate or work with the buyers or be fair, for lack of a better term, and not really take a ton of advantage of the current market that they're in. So that's a story that I wanted to share today. These clients just recently closed on that home. It's an amazing place. I know they're going to be very happy there, and I am so excited that everything worked out as well as it did. So if you are thinking about buying or selling real estate in Phoenix, you can talk to me about that. You can either call, text, or email. My info is in the description below, or click the link and set up a time to chat with me about your situation. I'd be happy to help. If you have any other questions, you can always reach out to me. I appreciate you guys watching every week. Thank you so much. Before we go, let's talk about our dog of the week. Every week I highlight a rescue dog that is available for adoption at a local animal shelter in hopes that we can find their forever home. This week I'm talking about a dog from the Sunshine Animal Rescue, and her name is Cleo. I think that's how you pronounce it. Same name as my dog, except it's spelled a little bit differently. It's Clio. She's a 1-year-old boxer mix. She is shy at first, but once she warms up to you, she will give you all the kisses and cuddles. She does well with other dogs, and she's good with older children. They're not sure how well she would be with younger children. So hopefully she can get adopted. If it sounds like she's the dog for you, check the description below. I have a link to her bio and website information about her. And if not, make sure you share her information so we can help her find her forever home. Thank you so much for watching this video and supporting my channel. I really appreciate it. If I can help with anything, feel free to call, text, or email. I'm Caitlin McKegg with HomeSmart.